there's, I mean, if there is a word in a language, it is most likely have been used in a metal band. Like there's just bands. There's a couple of bands I know just called fuck.
Just
you know,
fuck.
some crazy. So, I mean, some purposely shock value disgusting names like, nun fuckers or pissing razors, rainbow butt monkeys, selfish cunt. Let's see. There's also one of my favorites. I kind of like this alliteration: the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. That's always a good one.
What? Wait, hang on. That band, the Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza. What is their genre?
From what I remember, it was kind of like almost sporadic, crazy experimental metal, kind of almost noise metalcore. I mean, I could be completely wrong, but that's just a couple of, from what I remember hearing. I remember hearing one or two of their songs from a friend of mine, back in my Slay the Dawn days. Somebody had mentioned Tony Danza Tap Dance Extravaganza to me. I was like, what? What kind of name is that? And that name always stuck out in my head. But, yeah. They're a metal band, I mean, generally, so, but they're cool. From what I remember hearing, I mean,
what was the name of that are they Austrian? That band that apparently does Arnold Schwarzenegger songs?
Austrian Death Machine.
There we go, Austrian Death Machine. I mean, that's a hell of a title, and then on top of it, they do Arnold Schwarzenegger based music based off of his movies and everything.
Oh yeah, completely parodizing his movies and like famous lines of his and just everything that he's done.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But then there are some bands that love to just toe the line when it comes to their name. But then there are some, at least just in my opinion, and maybe this is a general opinion, I've never really heard any of this band's music, but there is a band out there called the Child Molesters, and they were formed in the late 70s, and they stopped music in the early 80s. And
so they were only around for a couple of years. I wonder why.
Yeah, right. Like, how did they even figuratively get away with being signed under that name?
What did they think they were going to accomplish?
They would have a better time trying to go as aborted Hitler cock.
Isn't that also an actual band?
Is also an actual band, or anal vomit.
Wow! Oh, wow. Okay. What? Is that just diarrhea then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Or even midget hand job. Or let's see if there's any other good ones. But yeah, there's just some crazy names. Crazy metal names. Some people do it just for shock value, just to make people go, whoa, that's the craziest fucking name I've ever heard. I wonder what their name sounds like, and it's just to get a couple of listens. And you know what? Maybe if something sticks, then they've got a new fan, and it's a great little gimmick to try and get people to listen to their music.
There's two bands that I can think of that have odd names that whenever I mention them, people are like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
One of them is the Bare Naked Ladies, who did like a kids album called Snacks. It's super good. It's just also super awkward because if you bought it for your kid, you bought them an album by the Bare Naked Ladies. Awkward.
Yeah, and you gotta hope that at one point you just hope that they understand that it's just the name of a band and not like they're not actually bare naked ladies.
I mean, they might be. Are you assuming their gender?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, the other band is a band called the Dead Milkmen, which is one of my favorite punk bands from
Dead
the 80s.
Milkmen are great.
Not the 80s. Earlier than that. Wow, I'm like...
Bitchin' Camaro! Bitchin' Camaro!
Fuck yeah, dude. They did Bitchin' Camaro. They do another song called Taking Retards to the Zoo, which is a personal favorite, even though it's totally not PC.
Didn't they do the KKK took my... No, they didn't.
That's the Ramones.
They covered that song, though. I do remember hearing the Dead Milkmen cover the KKK Took My Baby Away.
Honestly, they've done a couple of different covers. And they even did a song called The Milkmen Stomp, where they basically talk about how they are not all these other bands, because they can go suck it.
Like, naming a band in general, I mean, There are some people that can name their band literally within seconds, or they already have a name predetermined. And then there's sometimes when you gather up people and you start a jam, and yet you have no idea what to call yourselves, and it takes weeks and weeks and sometimes even months to try and get a good solid band name, because sometimes to some people it can mean a lot. It could, be real integral and real important to them. Like, all right, I don't want a stupid name. I want a good name, a powerful name for a band. And then there are some people who just are like, hey, we're this. How does that sound? Yeah, it sounds great. Okay, cool, done.
Well, I mean, some of them are like a play on words, which my wife got me onto this band called Jessikill. They're a local San Antonio metal band. They do fantasy metal. I totally dig it. And apparently, they've been playing for quite a while, and the lead singer's name is Jessica. And so they just used Jessie Kill. Like, it's simple and memorable.
Yep.
So, I don't fault them at all for that. I think it's actually awesome.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not going to forget that name anytime soon. But that might have to do with my wife. Anyway.
Well, as far as band names go, that's about all the time we have for today, folks. It's been real fun chatting here on this little mini podcast-ish session.
Feel free to go ahead and share, comment, and subscribe.
Don't forget to like.
And if you really, really like it, thank you for fucking it up.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.